We often imagine the internet as an ethereal public square, a borderless entity suspended somewhere above the physical world. Every email sent across an ocean, every memory uploaded to the cloud, and every domain visited feels detached from any specific location or government. But look closer at how information actually moves, and the illusion of a floating web dissolves. The digital world is governed by intense physical gravity. The system relies on literal bedrock. It is a network of heavy cables and reinforced concrete pits hidden just beneath our feet. This physical gravity is not distributed evenly across the globe. Instead, it is overwhelmingly concentrated within the borders of the United States. These facilities function like industrial cities, massive footprints of steel and hardware that require their own dedicated power grids just to keep the servers cool. We navigate the web as if it were a global public utility, but the infrastructure keeping it alive is anchored to a very specific, singular piece of geography. This concentration of power was the result of an aggressive standards war fought in the late 90s and early 2000s. While much of the world was still navigating the limitations of dial-up modems, American companies were already laying millions of miles of fiber-optic cables across the ocean floor. They built the server farms at scale and defined the fundamental protocols of the modern web before the rest of the world realized the game had begun. The US won this war by default. In the early days of the digital age, no other nation operated with the capital required to build at a global scale. By the time the internet became the nervous system of the global economy, it was already wired directly through American switches. This created a digital version of the gold standard. For centuries, geopolitical leverage meant holding physical bullion locked inside a vault. Today, the bullion has been replaced by bandwidth, and the vault has been replaced by endless rows of data servers. The rule of this new order is straightforward. Whoever builds and owns the physical pipes holds the power to dictate exactly what flows through them. Foreign startups and governments now operate with an unyielding reliance on American cloud providers, operating systems, and messaging apps. When a diplomatic rift occurs, a simple terms of service update can be weaponized. An entire country's digital presence can be erased from the global network overnight. Scrubbing apps from local devices and redirecting data streams weaponizes the infrastructure itself, turning a routine technical update into a geopolitical strike. The obvious solution for any sovereign nation is to build their own localized, protected internet ecosystem. But every attempt to break away hits the same economic barrier, the network effect. A nation can build its own servers, but that pathway remains isolated if the global marketplace and the world's most sophisticated tools stay on the existing network. Walking away from this established stack means voluntarily accepting a massive, crippling drop in national GDP and connectivity. Foreign nations are caught in a permanent dependency trap, bound to the economic efficiency of a system they no longer fully trust. We are entering a new phase of this digital empire. It isn't collapsing in a single dramatic crash, but it is slowly and quietly leaking power. Nations are now aggressively treating their internet infrastructure as a matter of critical national security, rather than a consumer convenience. A slow decoupling is underway. States are building redundant local servers and regional protocols designed to operate independently of a central American hub. The US-based platforms are being subjected to the type of extreme scrutiny and regulation once reserved for foreign intelligence agencies. The ideal of a single, connected, global dream internet is effectively dead. The monolithic web is being replaced by a patchwork of competing digital bunkers. The internet is already splintering. The real question is whether the world can afford to stay inside the old system, or if it can survive the cost of leaving it.